Will mark 9 years for me in music. 9 years ago. 9 years ago, when I was just getting out of high school. Matter of fact, it wouldn't even be just that. Some might say it might even be 10 years. When I was in high school, I chose to do music. And now I want to talk about my journey. The things that I learned, the things that I discovered, and how I got to where I am today, and how I, truly began out. I do want to apologize, for the way that I look. I am still stiff from going for my walks, working out. So let's go ahead, and let's begin. So a long time ago, when I was younger, during when I was a baby, like many years ago, there was always music. You had rock, you had your disco, you had your funk, and you had your hip hop. You had your nice, fun hip hop, and that's what I really endured, was hip hop right there. I truly loved it. I liked the funk. I wasn't too thrilled upon the rock or disco. No. A lot of artists that I would personally grow up listening to, when it came to the era of rock that I did grow to love, is like the punk gothic rock, like songs like from Nickelback to Linkin Park and Eversonce and Guns N' Roses. From there, you would get, I guess we go start doing the funk with soul in between there. You have people like Earth, Wind and Fire, right? Just Earth, Wind and Fire. I guess when it came to the culture of funk, pop, people like LaBouche, Black Box. You had Prince, Michael. In terms of hip hop, from Run DMC, NWA, Eazy-E, LL Cool J, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Tupac, Biggie, Will Smith. You had TLC, Young MC at the time as well. See, even far as going in as Rakim and Eric B, 50 Cent, Chamillionaire, G Unit, just to name a few. Even as far as saving a lot of music that I personally enjoyed when it came to physical copies. Like, yes, we are in the era of digital music, so I got experience with all three, from cassette, vinyl, CDs, digital, you name it. I got that experience. I do. During at the time, my part in music was necessarily being a lead background dancer. I was a street performer, a background dancer, a break dancer, if you will. And I did that. Now, why did I stop? Honestly, man, I got lazy about it over the years. I really got super lazy about it. Honestly, that's what happens. It gets to the best of us. It does. Am I saying am I losing weight now to go back to doing that? Absolutely not. I'm actually doing it for my health, because there were some health issues that caught up big time, and I said, you know what, we have to do something about it. So I've been doing that. So during the time, with that, we messed around, man, on cassettes, doing at the freestyles at the terms, or trying to do full songs, not really knowing what we were doing, as kids. But we had fun doing that. Matter of fact, we enjoyed, or I personally enjoyed, a lot of that. A good variety right there is what I enjoy doing. And we just, there's no longer that fundamental fact anymore, in music. There's really not. I would say the first time for me when really getting into music, when trying to discover myself as a MC, would be freestyling. We would freestyle pretty much in school, in the classrooms or in the bathroom. So I would most definitely take myself to try to challenge myself. Now, people gravitated towards me. I wasn't the best at it, but my skills were growing, and people were vibing to that. They liked what I did. I don't know why, but they's like, spit something for us. So that's what I would do, and I would hold myself throughout the years when it just started getting bigger, 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 right? And that's what I did. Now, when it came to writing a song, I never knew how to write a song. I never knew anything about writing a song and a song format. Like, I was completely clueless about writing music. Like, I just didn't know anything about it at all. Like, how do I write music? How do I do that? Where do I go to write this music at? So I took about 2 years to learn how to write music, how to write a verse, how to write a hook, how to write a chorus. Once I did that, I started singing those songs or rapping those songs a cappella for people. Now, this is where we get into the recording factor. When did I start learning how to record? Well, I didn't know anything about recording, man. I didn't know anything about the programming or equipment that was needed. I was completely, utterly new to this part. This was a whole new ballpark, a whole new era of me going into the music. Like, what do I do? Because a little bit before that, I already had a name and a brand / label I wanted for myself, which was Jazzy Inc. And I still stick to that till this day. Now, a bit before we get into the lyrics, let's rewind back. I wanted to be a DJ. Yes, a DJ. The DJing that I grew up with were people on the turntables and scratching. So I called myself DJ Jazzy. I never got a chance to scratch. However, one thing I did get to do as a DJ, I was putting out bootleg mixtapes of artists' songs who wanted their music out there. So I did that. And that's how I got my name out there as a DJ for a bit, by helping other people. Now, in between that, or going into that, that's when I said, what can I do to get myself out there as a vocalist? So, I had a few dollars in my pocket. I bought a keyboard for like, I think $120, a microphone for like $25 that you hook up to a computer, and I had a basic old computer. And I typed in instrumentals on YouTube, and I turned on the mic thing on the computer, getting the keyboard going. So I did freestyles like that. It may have not have been the best quality, but it was okay quality for at its time. It was pretty decent. And I would burn my freestyles that I did on CD, and I still do physical copies till this day. And I would burn my freestyle CDs, and I would give them to my friends just in my circle, for them to listen to. So, they would listen to them. And of course, how you have your inner friends of circles, but your friends have their friends who you really don't know anything about, or you never seen them. So my freestyles got out to their circle of their friends. And then my name started really getting out. I was like, have you heard such and such? Then I started doing full-length songs, still doing them not to the best because I just didn't know what I was doing. By the time I got my hands on a program, it was downloaded, it was WavePad. One of the songs I did, I was in a bad place at the time, especially, I felt like I was towards death. And I did a song called Red Rain, of course, which is a play off the Purple Rain, but it's my song, Red Rain. And when I did that, a lot of people liked it. When I put it out on audio and did a full BS music video with it late night, and a lot of people enjoyed that. I gave it to a homie of mine who is a DJ Trap. He went down to Atlanta and gave it to one of the producers who works for Atlanta Records, and he listened to it. So he came up specifically here to Tennessee, right, because he wanted to go see, Eric, who was a clothing store who used to manage artists back in the day. And when the producer came up, he asked about me. Well, one day I was walking past there, and where I was just going to lay down somewhere in the field and hope to die, because that's where I was at the time. Once I met this dude, I freestyled for him right there in the parking lot. Now, me, I do not have my words match up to rhyme. If anything, I'm a storyteller. I'm an MC. That's what I do. He's like, you got something. Your words need to rhyme, but you definitely have something. And I can tell he was feeling it. Now, at the time, I was working with a partner of mine's, MG, those that may know him as, White Fox or Creekwater White, or now the Bandit. A lot of my music that I put out, before, I tried doing to the best of my ability, the best of my quality that I had within our in and out relationship. And I was putting in more of the work. Now, those that have seen the videos of me putting it out either on my ChEDDErTarY 931 channel or my Jazzy Entertainment channel, yes, those are reasons why I left. But the main reason why I left is because there was no room for me to grow with him. He wanted people more so in the back and just have full control. That's why a lot of projects I did before in the past I decided to redo, because I didn't like how they were when I was with him. So I left. And the rest from right there, pretty much it is what it is. It's history. You take everything into account. That's why I left, is because of the music, mostly. I started, as my journey, I started learning about the business, and the business ain't all rainbows and gumdrops, man. I can go on forever about what I learned about the business, man, and it's a lot of bullshit at the end of the day, because if anything, it is a false dream. It is a dream that's being sold to you, something that is false, and you have to make it for what it is on yours. And let me tell you something, man, when I stepped into it, nobody would let me in, so I had to force my way in, per se, into this music game. People that I tried to hit up before because I really wanted to do something, they wouldn't let me. But now, as we skip on to where I am now, a lot of people are now trying to hit me up. I could say a lot of things to expose it, but I'm not going to. Out of one, respect, because a lot of these artists really were fucking with me back when my music quality wasn't shit. They showed love, so I'm not going to do that. I understand the mindset of where they are right now, and yeah, they're not doing much. A lot of them, they're a bit older than me. They're about almost in their 40s, and they're married. They got kids now. They got full-paying jobs. They got responsibilities. Me, I'm not on a brand. I'm not on a label. I'm not at all. Everything that I do, when I do my physical copies, and you guys might see a bit of the new ones right here above my head. I do my own Photoshop work. I buy the blank CDs, the cases. Once that, I gather up some other money to get the disc, the stuff that goes onto the CD. From there, I go on to get my stuff printed up that I need for my cases and my CDs. I get a good discount, but I only put out a certain amount. And once that amount is gone, there is no more. It's good to have multiple places where your music can perform at, and that's what I have. So, not only am I in the digital market, which I do good on Review Nation, I do good on SoundCloud, I do good on physical format, and I just grew up listening to the music. I just grew up listening to the music, because a artists at the time just put out the music. You know, they weren't chasing after that one hit song. They weren't chasing after that one hit, that one single, because they just put out the music. You know, whatever song became your hit, that's the video, or that's the song that you did the video for. You know, people were just putting out songs individually, which led into their full-length project. And me, that's what I grew up with. So that's why just about every month is why I put out music. Because if you're out there chasing that one song, that #1 hit, you're going to be chasing that for your entire life, man. And you're going to be wasting your time and everyone else's time. And then one day you're going to find yourself, everybody gone, you're going to find yourself much older before you decide something. You know, don't be jumping into a project right away. What you need to do, you need to do some freestyles. Get yourself out there first. Build up a name, build up a buzz. Put it on CDs. There's still a market for CDs. I know a lot of people say that you hear a lot on YouTube, like people like Complex on Everyday Struggle. They say, well, physical format ain't what it used to be, or it's not selling anymore. People don't gravitate towards it. It's all about the streaming market. That is a false narrative. You know, they're paid to say that. They're paid to say that. It's not even them, it's also others. Believe it or not, if you truly do your research, you really see that physical music performs better than digital. Because digital, there's no way to balance out those numbers, because you're not going to want to buy the full project digital. You're not going to want to buy the songs individually. You may want to buy 1 or 2 songs that are the singles, but people just want the music, so they're going to find a way, if anything, to get that music without paying for it, even if it means getting a physical CD as well. Believe you me, a couple of years ago, even now, the sales of vinyls are in the billions. So they're doing just as great. So there is a market for physical stuff, because at the end of the day, one day you could wake up and there could be no more internet. And you're saying that you're an artist, and people are going to ask, well, what, do you have anything out? Oh, well, yeah, I was on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify. People's like, well, you know, internet ain't around no more, so how can I believe you? That's why there's always going to be a love for physical music out there. So, you know, you got to take something like that into mind, man. You really, really do. I know even as I was learning the business, you know, I was learning how to work the equipment. And the best thing about today, you have a lot of equipment that has a good majority of it in one. So you may need 1 to 2 to 3 things of equipment, an updated program, and there you go. You can get the same studio quality that you hear now, just with that much. Just not with that much, but you know, with just a little bit of what you need. Yes, sir, you are going to be spending some money. You are. There's no doubt about that. But it's going to be worth it in the end, because in the end, you're going to be investing into yourself, not paying somebody else for studio time, investing into them, because that's not investing into yourself, that's investing into them. Because as far as they're concerned, they can hold on to that song or to that project, and they're going to have you pay a certain amount of money each and every time before you even get it. And they could be messing around with those tracks behind your back. And believe it or not, there's really no such thing as money being made in that. There's really not. The only thing that you're spending money on is putting out on a physical format, man. Everything else is pitched at as a money grab, just to, you know, get a few pocket change. And those are just some of the few things, you know, that I have learned. You know, as time started progressing from 2 years ago, maybe a bit 3 years ago, but definitely 2 years ago where I am now, which makes it now 3 years ago, with my journey coming to a wrap, I started finding interest in other things. And that's one thing that you don't have to be an artist for this to happen. I mean, you can just be a regular individual. You could be doing one thing you enjoy for so long, but as time goes on and time progresses, you're going to find other interests. And that's what's been happening with me. I've been finding other interests, doing the clothing business, right? Help managing other businesses for finances, helping other people get out there with promos, making money like that, focused on YouTube, you know, just to name a few things. Got into gaming, even going back in as far as painting, you know, pretty much giving those out because, you know, there's really no such thing as money being made in art. But, you know, you're going to find other interests. And when you do, you're going to find the interest that you once did not enjoyable as much anymore. You're going to find that that's going to happen. Now, I think that happens for everybody, you know, even as an artist. But let me tell you something, man. My music journey that I've been through was great. Because especially when I do shows, like, don't get me wrong, there's going to be BS behind the scenes, the middle of the scenes, and in front of the scenes when you do shows, because not everything you see is going to be real. A lot of it's going to be completely fake. And experience speaks for itself. You know, I can go on forever, like I said, about something like that. But I figured, you know, let the newcomers, man, experience that, because experience is the best teacher in life. But when the shows that I did, they were little karaoke sections, but with songs that I wanted to perform. But I brought magic. I brought a sense of something there. Even when I was just doing little opening gigs for like bars, like 15 minutes. I wanted to make sure I brought what I could for that 15 minutes of magic, and people enjoy it. It got to the point where fights broke out amongst other people when I performed, even after. When I did my first solo show, the good amount of people showed up who enjoyed it. I did jacket changes, which were costume changes, a sense of magic, a feel to it. Now, I wish I would have hired a camera person, because I didn't know cameras record only for like 30 minutes or so. But there was a good middle portion, man, that was the big explosion, if you will. The magic, and that's what's missing today, not just within shows, but within music, is that magic, that feel good, something that you can connect to, good storytelling, good rhythm, something that can make you, you know, really feel like you're not alone. Today's music, where I stand with that, there's not that magic there. They're chasing after a false dream of saying, man, I just got into music just so I can get some money. If that's the point, then you shouldn't be in music, man. There's a lot more to it than just trying to make a quick dollar. There is. You have to grow. And that's one thing a lot of artists are afraid of with these younger ones are growing. You know, I do, especially a lot of influence come here from down south. You know, I talk about those type of things in my vlogging video 8. Goes into proportion about that. Today's artists and how they grew up, even with the music they do, they were too sheltered, man. Everything has to be filtered for them. So to them, everything's gumdrops and rainbows, man. It's not. It ain't. There's nothing against getting into anime, but a lot of them are taking that anime type of feel and living in this fictional world. Man, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. If you can't grow and expand beyond your expectations while in your music, man, you shouldn't be in it at all. You know, when I was growing as an artist, I started out as DJ Jazzy. When I was doing freestyles, and when I started to learn how to write songs and record songs, not with the best of quality, I went by Cheddar. You know, I was immature then. As I started growing more as an artist, more as a human being, more as a man. Right? Not even that. Growing physically, mentally, spiritually, knowledge, religiously, knowing who I truly am and where I am now. I grew as ChEDDErTarY. So it grew. I grew. And that's one thing that a lot of people in music just don't have anymore, is that growth, because they don't know who they are. They don't. And a lot of it is the same shit. A lot of it is, man. You know, when you get an overinflated ego, you really forget a lot of things. You do. You know, I've been down that path a bit myself, and I had to come right back up into reality. But let me tell you something: the real music journey, it's not as bright and happy as you think it's gonna be, man. You're gonna have a lot of your ups and downs. You're gonna have a lot of fucked up days. You're gonna have some good days too. My music journey, it was an excellent journey. If I could do it all over again, just to redo it, to replay it for laughs and kicks now, because I know what I need to do, yes, I would do it again. I really would. But, you know, I can't turn back time like that. But I enjoyed my music journey, man. The fun of it. Like, I'm a huge music collector. Like, this is my music shelf. I know you guys can't see the bottom. I got vinyls, cassettes, music movies, my Michael collection, Prince collection, my funk collection, my 90s collection, my early 2000s to mid 2000s collection. Like, this is what I grew up on, you know, just doing the music. And with this coming to a wrap, within the next clip that you're going to see is all of my music that I have done in physical format, even some other stuff in between, because this is what it's about, man. Just doing the music. You don't have to be like everyone else. It's literally about creating your own lane, being yourself, man. I guarantee you people are going to gravitate towards you. Then you also got to be careful with who you work with as well. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this next clip. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview, and I'm out.